Pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by the English and Dutch mercenaries, who ordered them to come outside. Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive. The next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving, because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered.
Finish reading this. It says, but ye are forgers of lies. What are the lies that you forged? Thanksgiving is the biggest lie you forged. Okay? You're the one that changed the truth into a lie. Okay? You're the one that turned this whole world upside down with your madness. The white man is a mad scientist. You know, like I said, everything that he touched turns to mold. It's destroyed. Like it's sad, you know, that our people are caught up in following the ways of this man, and they can't see he's wicked. But that's why 2/3 of our people, they have to go without a shadow of a doubt. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, Christ is going to reign supreme. Our big brother Yahushua is going to reign supreme, and that's that. Let me get a couple more scriptures. Okay, this is Mark, the 7th chapter. You know, because a lot of brothers, they have to be aware. Like during this time of year, you know, don't get caught out there. If your family wants to see you, things like that, you know, just tell them you can't deal with them on this day, because look, this day right here is really a day of mourning. It's not a day of righteousness. There's nothing righteous about this day. You know, like, I mean, it's just a day of straight mourning for us, because you have to understand true history and what they did to our brothers. Okay? So this is Mark the 7th chapter. Mark the 7th chapter and the 7th verse. It says, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines, commandments of men. Now, if you check out the scriptures, you know, Thanksgiving is not to be celebrated. That's a doctrine and a commandment of men. Okay, the Most High did not institute Thanksgiving, none whatsoever. So we don't have anything to do with Thanksgiving. You understand? We have nothing to do with Thanksgiving. We don't want anything to do with Thanksgiving. We have all these great feast days. We have actually what? The Feast of Dedication coming up in the 9th month, which is this month. We got the Feast of Dedication coming up, okay, which is the rededication of the altar of the Most High. That's what you should be worried about. Our mind frame is on the Feast of Dedication. We got Purim coming up, the Day of Judas, and then the Passover will be right around the corner. Okay? So it says, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines and commandments of men, for laying aside the commandment of God. You know, the white man has laid aside the commandments of God, and in turn, some of our people, they've laid aside the commandments of God also. To do what? Deal with these vain doctrines and these vain feast days, which mean nothing. Christmas has nothing to do with the so-called black man. Okay? Christmas is actually an African, it's an African, you know, an African holiday. Nimrod was an African, but when I say the so-called black man, I mean the so-called black American. Let me correct myself, okay? Because I can see all the scoffers now. He said so-called black men, but then he said African. Aren't the Africans black? Yeah, I mean black Americans, the so-called Negro. Let me straighten that out, okay? From there, I'm going to go to Colossians, the 2nd chapter, all right? Because you have to understand, you know, God is against these days. He's against anything that's contrary to his word. And, you know, like I said, in these last days, you know, so you don't get caught up in the destruction and the chaos, you know, you need to really follow and come back to Christ and not celebrate these feast days. You should not want anything to do with Thanksgiving. Thanks for what? You know, Thanks for what is there really to be thankful for that you can't be thankful for every day? Think about it. You know, when you wake up, you should be thankful. When I wake up in the morning, first thing I tell my children, blessed be the Most High. We all woke up another morning. I'm thankful for that. The little things you need to be thankful for, not these pagan, wicked days that are set up in this society. So this is Colossians, the 2nd chapter, in the 8th verse. It says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men." So you have to be careful and beware. You know, don't let no brother or no sister or nobody for that matter try to suck you into the madness of these the holiday spirit. And then with the holiday spirit, this is how you know it's so phony. Because the spirit of Yahushua, okay, which is this Bible, you're supposed to be at peace with your brothers every day. Why is that? In this society, they're only at peace with their brothers from the end of October until January 1st. Everybody wants to be loving and peaceful. Once January 2nd comes, everybody's back to being wicked towards each other, and the love waxes cold again. No, check that. Really check that out. During this quote-unquote holiday season, everybody's all happy-go-lucky with each other. But then come January 2nd, the phoniness ends. And now you're back to your evil ways, being evil towards your brother, wanting to sleep with his wife and do all types of wickedness. You understand? This is the mentality, you know, of this world today, because the world is wicked. Think about it. They only sing peace on earth, goodwill towards men from Thanksgiving to Christmas. Why don't they do it all year round? It says, love your brother as yourself. Does that mean just during the feast days or every day? These are things you have to ask yourself. Okay? So it says, beware lest any man spoil you through the philosophy and vain deceit after the traditions of men. Okay? The traditions of men are Thanksgiving. The traditions of men are Christmas. The traditions of men are New Year's Day. These things are the traditions of men. They're not of God, they're of Satan. They're of the God, but the God of this world, which is Satan. And when you had John Endicott back in 1637, when he was thanking God, he was thanking the God of this world. The God of this world is Satan, because USA is under Satan's authority. America is under Satan's authority. Okay? This world is under Satan's authority. So you have to understand that. So I'm going to read on. It says, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world. Now, what are some of the rudiments of the world? Thanksgiving is the rudiments of the world. You know, just sin. You know, and basically sin. Everything that goes against the Bible, okay, is basically done in this world. The rudiments of the world, they're basically the elements that go on in this world. Okay? And if you check out our people, they're in this partying mode now. Everybody wants to party. Everybody wants to be lascivious. Everybody just wants to be. It's a wicked world out there. So you have to beware of these things and wake up, because Christ is on his way back. Christ is about to make his second coming. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. It's going to make Egypt, the deliverance from Egypt, as an afterthought. So you have to be ready for the second coming of Christ. But I'm going to finish this up. It says, beware lest any man spoil you through the philosophy and vain deceit after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahushua. Okay? So you don't want to be following traditions of men. You don't want to follow the rudiments of this world. You want to follow after Yahushua. The key is to think like how Yahushua thought and follow this Bible. Read that whole Bible. You know, it tells you what? Wisdom and knowledge are the stability of thy times in Isaiah the 33rd chapter. So wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times, and you have to really focus on what you want to do. And stay away from that pagan Thanksgiving. All praise is due to the Most High Yahushua for bringing this little bit of information out, because we got more. We want to keep it short, you know. And chilling with Israel, we're back. We won't be stopped. And you know, just give all praises to Yahushua, big brother. Shalom.
As you know that Brother Mathath, he did short commentary to show you how Thanksgiving itself is just like a feast of slaughter. How the Indians, the Pequot Indians were just slaughtered. And if you know about the people that slaughtered them were the Puritans. And many of the Puritans, they were high into masonry and into the occult. And this is one thing that they use to symbolize that Thanksgiving is into the occult. If you know about the Native American Indians, the 700 that was murdered, they wore feathers. And they were not just these big feathers that many of, like the chief wore and many of the captains of war done. So what the Puritans did, they put the turkey, because the turkey has big feathers. And they use that as a symbol as they kill all their chieftain and all their men of war and all their strong men. And then after that, if you know what the Puritans did, they got the cranberry sauce representing all the blood. Because there were certain times where the Puritans would kill children, and sometimes they would regret it because they would see blood all over. And then after that, they'll see the stuffing right there. Now, you always have to have the stuffing also on Thanksgiving. And the stuffing represents all the things, because there were certain times where the Puritans would kill like a female pregnant Native American woman and cut her stomach open and take the fetus right out the stomach and stomp on it. So that's why they would literally put the stuffing inside the turkey, and you would like eat the stuffing out there. So this whole thing is a ritual. The Puritans were into the occult. They were into the occult, and that's why they every Thanksgiving you have to have the turkey, the cranberry sauce, and the stuffing, and it represents that slaughter. There's no Thanksgiving, there's not a Thanksgiving where you just can't have the turkey, cranberry sauce, and the stuffing, and it all goes into the occult. So as you know, this the Puritans, they're very evil. Don't think the reason why they call themselves Puritans because they want to purify themselves from England and be a city on a hill to show how England is. But the thing is, even England was telling them to get out of England because they was too wild with that, with the superstition, things like that. So, and once they saw the Native American Indians, they just start taking advantage of them. So, a little history about Thanksgiving. That's like a day of slaughter and unholy sacrifice.